And here we are. Hello, everybody. How's everybody tonight? Anybody know anything worth talking about? I never do. Hi, Rhea. How you doing? Looking good tonight. Of course, I can't see you, but you always look good. Says we got 4 people here. As far as announcements go, pretty thin. I know that in the Tumblebeans parking lot, there's a Saturday morning. Supposed to be a craft fair and some food trucks. I haven't seen any real announcements on that, but I've heard from Brian. So at 8 o'clock Saturday morning, craft fair. So if you're going to set up over on the street side of the parking lot. Says everybody's welcome. So Brian says this is the last fling for the spring, and it will be fall before they do another one. So there you have that. You know what I know. Like I said, I did hear from Brian, and he said that was happening. So really don't have any big announcements. I guess we're a couple of minutes in. I'm going to go right to it. You know, some of you participated. Yeah, I wish they would actually do an announcement on the Tumblebeans page and in Arizona City Chat News. But I got a message from him this morning, and I saw a couple of other posts about it. It's going to be a craft fair, car show, blah, blah, blah. I wish him luck. I'm hoping to make it up there. This Saturday morning, 8 a.m. So that's what I know. So it's supposed to be food trucks there, including, let me go over here and look. He said, last event of the season and Coast to Coast Barbecue will be there. So at least one food truck. Now you know. 8 a.m. Saturday. All right. Y'all know I did that little informal survey both on the QRIAZ page and yeah, I don't think they publicized this very well. They could have done a little better job and a little further notice on it. So we'll see how it goes. I hope there's a huge turnout. All right. Y'all know I did a little informal survey, which means I don't know what it means. It don't mean anything. But I asked what people thought for services needed in Arizona City. We had over 21 people look at that survey and almost 1,000 responded. Left me a little bit shocked. I had it both on Arizona City Chat News and over on my page. So, but there were three main things that stood out. I only left it up about 36 hours because it was starting to fall into the trap that always happens when you ask something like that. You start getting silly arguments and silly answers. But the 3 main things that I got between the 2 places and everything. One was gas station convenience store. I see that. I understand it. And I think if they could find a place to put one, it would do well. Unfortunately, you're dealing with the county on zoning and everything, and there's my understanding there's only one spot zone for it, and they don't want to sell. But that's something that you could approach the county about, rezoning some spot or something. That I know it's a pain dealing with this county. So the next thing, and this one was so close to the first one on responses, better grocery. Now I know IGA's locked into a small building, and for what they've got to work with, I think they do good. I don't want to lose them. It's great to have them to run up there and grab a pound of hamburger or a bag of potatoes or a gallon of milk, whatever you need. I'm glad they're there. It would be nice if they were bigger. Again, we're into zoning and space. There apparently is no zoning and no space, which is weird. But I'm finding a lot of things a little weird here. The next thing was an actual bank. And I think, Rhea, I think you're one of the ones that put that out there. It would be nice not to have to drive to Casa Grande to get a couple of bucks without paying a fee. What's sad is even the ATMs here are privately owned and charge you to get your own money. So it would be nice to have a branch of a bank here. Again, space. Where would they put it? There's some issues with putting in a bank, but it would be great to see. Actually, if you want to go through the trouble, you can start your own bank. Oh, you want a paperwork. That was used to be a lot easier than it is, but boy, now it's not that simple. It used to be all you had to have some money and attitude, and you could fire up a bank. But that don't work that way anymore. All right. Says we got 7 people watching. Believe it or not, that's a good number for this, because the number tends to go up later. But anytime we got more than 3 in here, we're throwing the live show, it's doing pretty good. There were a lot of other suggestions. Some of them are pretty frivolous, but you know, I told Paula this. I've asked this question back in Missouri, and good Lord, I got a response. But most of them were me responses, you know, things that would do 2 people good. You know, why don't we have this? Why don't we have that? You got to have customer base. Some of the things that were mentioned was a pool, a gym, a park. Now that one I like. It'd be nice to have an actual park here. A pub. Pub would be nice. Donut shop. Things like that. Several of those things were listed. Now, you got to have a customer base. None of these things are cheap to set up. And you have to look at return on investment. The ROI, return on investment. And you have to look at that. Over the years, I've been in 3 businesses. And only the last one really stuck, and I was stuck with it for 28 years. So, but it was service related. And I did it for 20 years in a Kansas City suburb, and then moved out and started over in a couple of small towns in the country. Now, when I say small towns, these were actually towns. They were incorporated, Both of them are around 1,200 people, but I drew from the entire county because I was the only guy doing that without having to drive into Kansas City and pay gas, time. And to be honest, their rates and mine were about the same. They'd run specials, and sometimes they did what they said they would do, and sometimes they didn't. I can't tell you how many times I had people tell me, I'm going to take that to Best Buy and they'll fix it for half what you're going to charge me. And a week later, I get the same machine in, and Best Buy had it, charged them half what I would have charged, and I still had to fix it. So, running a business is not a fun thing. You can't, well, one of the things I always said when I had my own business was I had the best and worst boss I'd ever had. You got nobody to call in sick. You got no paid sick leave because you are the business. And when you have your own business, you're working 24/7, 365. Even if you're not at the business, you're thinking about it. You're trying to figure out what's the next big thing is, what the next little thing is, and can you make any money on it? Can you afford to pay your employees? Can you keep the lights turned on? There's so much that goes into this. So some of these things could be done. It would take somebody with some capital and backing, determination. You'd have to deal with the county. There's no city to deal with, so that may or may not be a plus. So they could be done. It won't be cheap, won't be easy. But I would love to see a gas station convenience store come in. We've got a couple of little convenience stores here. They could be improved on. Attitude could be improved at one of them. I love the grocery store we've got, but I wish it was bigger and have a better selection. It isn't, and it doesn't. So, a bank branch here would be absolutely wonderful. Would love to see that happen. But you got to have a bank that's willing to go to the trouble. You have to pay employees to sit down here, and people have to use it. That's, look, we got a wonderful little coffee shop come in. They should be packed all the time. They're not. They should be. I'd hate to see them have to give it up. And one of the things that I remember from a few years back, and then they're not making as much noise as they used to, and it's called the 350 Project. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of it, but you pick just three local businesses, and you spend $50 a month with them. 3 businesses. You're going to spend that much anyway. That means, if it costs you an extra quarter to buy a loaf of bread local, well, that loaf of bread local, how much is it going to cost you to drive 8 miles or 10 miles to buy a loaf of bread? If these little small businesses around here close, you'll miss them. You might not right away, but there'll be a day when you need a gallon of milk because you forgot to pick up milk or you spilled a gallon of milk. And you're not going to want to drive all the way to Casa Grande to get a gallon of milk when you can run right up here to IGA and grab a gallon of milk. Or you're going to need a handful of screws and you don't want to drive to Home Depot. You can run out to Ace. It might cost you a few cents more per screw, but they're here. You can go there. You decide you want a cheeseburger. You can run the flashbacks. You want a good taco, you can run out to Filiberto's. But if you don't do business with those people, they won't be here. That's just part of the facts of life and facts of business. If you don't help them, they can't help you. And you might not even know they're gone until you need something and run by there and it's like, oh crap, they're closed. So that's really what I had on that. If you don't join late and missed that conversation, go back and start at the beginning. It'll be up. It's both here on Facebook and it's over on YouTube on the QRAC radio page on YouTube. So if you got somebody that wants to hear it and they're not on Facebook, send them over there. Now, I'm done talking. Open the floor up. Who's got something they want to say? Nobody got anything to say? Somebody want to say something? Should I go take a nap? Are we done? Talk to me, folks. I know there's a lag. I'm actually monitoring myself here to see how much of a lag. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 seconds. Got a 6-second lag. That's actually pretty good for Facebook. Sometimes it's 7, sometimes it's more. So nobody's got anything they want to add? Nobody got anything they want to subtract? Nobody got anything? Nothing. One thing I'll mention, yesterday, my thermometer on the deck in the shade hit 100. I know that's not official, but that's my first 100 degrees for the year. So we're cooling off a little for a few days. We'll see how it goes. You know, talking about new businesses and stuff, there's a lot of naysayers that say, leave it alone. Don't change anything. It's wonderful the way it is. The only thing you can be absolutely sure of is change is going to happen. You may or may not like it, but over the years, there's been a lot of research done on why people hate change. And the main 3 reasons: lack of reward, whether real or perceived, is lack of reward. Now, this applies to both business and personal. So, fear of the unknown. Well, if this happens, what are we going to do? You know, how will it happen? They're going to charge me more. You know, before anything's done, before any ground gets broken, people are talking negative. And the next one, I see it happen in business all the time. It's lack of status or visibility. You're scared to death that you've been the big dog on the block for years. Now we're making changes. You may not be that big dog anymore. That happens. It just does. I mean, if you want to be the big dog, do something besides sitting on your laurels. And I think one of the main reasons that you see people, it's why it don't happen, is inertia. People don't want to do it. Everybody wants somebody else to do it. Get off your butt. And if you want something, get off your butt, do it. Do it yourself. I agree, Rhea. I think that's absolutely correct. It could all be done in one building. If you can get the land, the investment, and a bank that's willing to do it. Sounds good to me. Listen, it just sounds great to me. American breakfast. I'm a big fan of biscuits and gravy, but I also like pancakes and sausage. I don't hear any chirping, but I got headsets on, so. Nope, don't hear it. I think you're hearing things. Great Western. That's the biggest problem in a place like this. People think if it's in a small place like this, it can't be good. It's got to be better to drive 10 miles or 20 miles or 50 miles away and pay more. Because if it's in a small town, it can't be good. To be fair, I invited Crystal McKenna, president of the chamber, to come on and talk with us about this stuff and what maybe they were trying to do and everything. And I admit, I gave her some short notice and she had a scheduling conflict. She couldn't come, which is a shame. So, guys, what else? Talk to me. Was this a good topic? Should I have left it alone? I'm not very good at leaving things alone, so. But I know things can be done if you get a group of like-minded citizens that approach it properly, and they can get people interested. You can approach a business to see if they want to come here. You can approach a bank and see if they want to open a small branch here. It's just, but you have to have people get involved. You can't sit on your butt and watch CNN all day and complain because something's not happening, because you didn't get up and do anything. So I think I've about talked myself out. I didn't come here to prepare to make a big speech or anything. This is an informal chat. But I would love to see some community involvement. You know, there's a couple of ways you can do that. Start showing up to chamber meetings. Let them know you're here. Let them know what you want to see. But don't go in with attitude. Go in trying to understand. Realize budget constraints and a lot of things happen. But it takes more than one or two people to do it. It takes a group. I tell you what, if you could get 50 people to show up at a chamber meeting, they might listen to you. Don't go. Have a spokesperson, somebody. There are ways to do this. Just, you have to organize a little bit. All right. I've run my line out. Who's got anything they want to add, subtract, or divide here? Nobody. Nobody got anything. Don't say I didn't give you a chance to talk. And here, I'm going to throw this out there for you. We do this every Wednesday. If you want to be on here, we can arrange it. I can have your picture right up here, wherever it is, and a microphone in front of your face. And the fun part of that is you can do it here, or you could sit home in your easy chair with a laptop, tablet, even your phone, and do it that way. So there's something to think about. If you got something you think needs to be said, I'll give you a menu. All right, guys. I pretty much wound myself out here. Got nothing. So I'm going to wind this up. I'm going to get out of here. I want y'all to take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Have a good night. Maybe I'll see you Saturday up at the Tumblebeans parking lot. Good night, all.